So we begin by taking 2 table tennis balls or 2 ping pong balls and using some permanent marker. I've made a blue iris by drawing a round blue circle and colouring it in, and a black pupil in the centre. And the squiggly red lines are supposed to make them look bloodshot. I also have to make a mouth. So at the time I had no black fabric, so I just used some black cardboard, but you can use whatever you like. And altogether the size is around about 5 by 9 centimetres, and within that rectangular shape I drew a mouth and just cut out spaces for where I wanted the teeth to be. So you place the pillow slip vertically and then you fold it back up to the top so that the top part of the head is sitting at the top of where the pillow slip will be. So that's where there's no hole. And then you fold it to the back underneath so that you can frame the face. Make sure it's facing the right way when you do it, because you don't want to be putting on an upside down face. So once you've got everything that you need, you take your eyeball and you take your hot glue gun and you simply pick a place for where you want the eye to be and you pop it on. And then you take the second one and you do the same. And it doesn't matter if they're not sitting symmetrically, because it just adds a more spooky look to it anyway. It makes it more funny. And then you take the mouth and you sew that on. So you don't want to be stitching it to the back. So after the eyes have dried, you pop your hand up into the pillow slip and just make sure you separate any fabric that might be still stuck after gluing the eyes on. And then you take the mouth and you pin it on where you want it to be. Just make sure you're not pinning it to the other piece of fabric at the back. And then you simply do a couple of loose stitches into the mouth and fabric. Now I started off, when I'm sewing, I just do a few little loops to get me started, and I'm doing that under the mouth just to make it look a bit neater. And that's exactly how you finish it up. You do a few stitches so that it's sitting on the pillow slip nice and firm, and then you finish it up. That's what it looks like underneath. And there's our happy face. That's what it looks like with my hand in it. It could go over anything really. And now I'm just going to take some stuffing from an old pillow insert that I had and pop it into the pillow slip. And once you've got it to the amount of stuffing that you want, then you start shaping it. You can use some safety pins and you pull the sides back. You do that on both sides and then you pull the top back down. It's probably a good idea to get it as tight as you can, just because it helps to make the stuffing a bit firmer and enables you to get a better shape for the head. So once you've got the look that you want, you start to dress the tomato cage. So I'm using a black garbage bag and I'm pulling up as high as I can. So I've pulled the loops as tight as I can, and then I've stretched them up to the highest point and I'm securing them to the top ring. I'm also using some sticky tape to hold it there in place, And then I'm taking a wire coat hanger that has been stretched out, shaping it into a U shape, and then attaching it to the top part of the ring. I make sure that it's secured at the center point of the wire. That way you can be sure that the arms are going to be the same length. I also put the wire arms to the inside of the 2 vertical prongs at the front. And then I take a shirt and I slip the sleeves over the wire arms, and then I take a pillow insert and I push that down through into the middle to add some bulk, and that helps to stop any loose stuffing from falling out. Once I've done that, I pull the shirt up higher and button down the shirt to hold it all in place. And then once I've done that, I find a nice belt and wrap it as tight as I can around the center. That makes a nice waist for the fortune teller and helps to hold the stuffing in as well. And I haven't put the stuffing in the sleeves yet because I need to secure them with some safety pins to stop the stuffing falling out. I put them along far enough up the sleeve to be able to make a cuff to hide the safety pins, and then I put the stuffing into the sleeves, so I really puff them out. I make sure I've got enough stuffing in there so that I can play around with it later to get the shape that I want. So I have to do the same with both sleeves, and that's what you can see me doing here. I'm securing the other side with some safety pins, and then I'll fold it back to make another cuff. Don't worry about it too much because there will be a shawl going over the shoulder part anyway. So just a few more bits of stuffing in there. And then once you're happy with that, you pull the wires together and secure them with some sticky tape so that you've got a base to hang the head on. So you push the head right down as far as you can so the prongs are right up the top of the head, and you tuck the base of the pillow slip in where the neck goes. And I've got a brooch that I like to use that gives it an old-fashioned look, but it also takes the neck up a bit higher and secures the pillow slip further. Now I've got a square scarf, and I fold that into a triangle and wrap it around the head, and that also helps to shape the head. So you can play with that for a little while until you've got the look that you want. And that looks pretty good the way it is. I'm using some dress-up gloves that have been also stuffed with some pillow stuffing, and I'm just pushing the wire up as far into one of the fingers I can, and I do the same on the other side. And I secure the bottom of that with some safety pins as well, just to tighten the glove as much as I can. I bend the arms in and make some elbows, and I just hang the shawl around them. So she's almost finished but needs some adjustment. I'm just showing you an alternative way to do the head. So once you've got the stuffing in, you can use an elastic band and wrap that around the base, and then you stretch it out and pop it over the top of the frame. I actually think that that might be a better way of doing it because it holds the stuffing a bit more securely, and again I'd like to say it's probably best to pull the head back as tight as you can with the safety pins. It just makes the stuffing firmer and gives the head a better shape. So I'm just doing the finishing touches with the scarf. I'll also do some more adjustments on the rest of the body, like pulling the belt up higher and moving the stuffing around. So once that's done, she'll be finished. Happy Halloween, everybody!